I was out on a trip with my family. It was a family vacation and we decided to go to beautiful Sri Lanka. Our final destination was Kandy. Now, if you know of Kandy, it is famous for the Temple of the Tooth, where the tooth relic of the Buddha is believed to have been preserved. I found the architecture fascinating and was quite enjoying looking at the temple building itself. Then I noticed a large crowd was moving towards the shrine, and I decided to follow them. Clearly, I stuck out in between that crowd because I was dressed up in Bermuda shorts, a t-shirt, a pea cap, camera around the neck. You get the picture. A lot of locals, and this guy had foreigner and tourist written all over him. I noticed right in front of me was a local village woman, probably in her 60s, weather-beaten, shriveled face, with an old sari torn at a few places. And in her hand was a crumpled, transparent little plastic bag. And in that bag, she was carrying flowers. As she reached the shrine, and I was just behind her, she reached out to pick up the entire contents, a handful of flowers, and was about to offer it to the shrine, where suddenly from the corner of her eye, she would have glanced at me, just at that corner. And she noticed that my palms, right behind her, were empty. Within a fraction of a second, she just lifted the entire contents of her palm and transferred it to mine and gestured me to offer it to the shrine. I was startled. I didn't have time to think, so I just did as I was told and just offered it gently to the shrine. She then turned around to look out for herself and see if there were any flowers remaining. There were about a couple, an old flower, maybe some petals. She picked up those two, bowed humbly and offered it. As soon as she finished, I expected her to turn around, give me a big smile and ask for thank yous. But no. What just happened? And I just thought about this lady and what she had just done. She clearly had no money or very little money, but she was thoughtful enough not to go there empty-handed. She, in all probability, picked up the flowers from the street or from a garden. Might have taken 15, 30 minutes, I don't know, but was certainly taken some kind of effort. When she decided to transfer those flowers onto me, there was absolutely no time or even intention to even check whether I was rich or poor, local or foreigner. She just saw empty palms that were near her and they needed to be filled. She had that which could fill it and she just transferred it. It was the whole quantum. She didn't even stop to think that there was anything left for her. When she transferred those flowers to me, the objectives was achieved, so there was no further questions. It was like transactional. Take it all. And then later when she stopped by to exit, she didn't even make that eye contact. And I thought about why. She didn't make that because it didn't even register in her consciousness. She doesn't even feel like she did anything. That is the extent of her generosity. I then thought, of what if it was me in that same situation? How would I react? I have very little. I make an effort over an activity, and just as I'm about to fulfill it, I just transfer it off to an unknown soul and walk away even without thinking about it. What are the odds that I could do something like that? Then I thought maybe I could, maybe a few flowers if he asked nicely. I'll keep at least half for myself, and at least I'd want a big smile and thank you from this grateful foreigner. As I drove away from that temple, I thought about what I learned from the whole exercise. This lady lived every day sharing the little she had. There was no difference between her serving someone else and herself. I also realized what habits are. Habits are just habits, both good and bad. They tend to work the same way. It's only by living each day, every day with that sharing and caring that you can produce that natural reaction, that spontaneous reaction, where you pick something up and transfer it just as the occasion demands, or when the occasion calls for it, you just do it instantly. That can only happen if you've cultivated a lifetime of doing that. I also thought about how and what she gave me. I perceived like I got a lot. In her mind, she gave me nothing. She only shared what she had, and that was the difference. There was no sense of ownership over those flowers. They just simply met the objectives that they were picked for. It didn't matter anymore to her. I never met her again. I don't know her name. I just know that maybe the world thinks I have more wealth than she does, but I have a long way to go before I can be as enormously rich as she is.